Hey, YouTube! Woo! When I'm doing a live, I don't have any camera tricks. That's the best I can come up with. Uh, give a few minutes for people to get on here, and then actually I want that on, and then we're going to want this one off. Yeah, yeah, that's what I wanted. And then we're going to share what's hatched out in 2020 so far, because we're still very early in the season. Hopefully, people do show up here in a few minutes. Otherwise, I'm gonna be bored talking to myself. Got that running. Ah, there we're getting some people. In case you guys early birds wonder what I'm doing, trying to get you a little better lighting. We're turning off the overhead here, and we're running our studio lighting, which we use that. Hey, Nikki. Hey. Am I gonna say right? Talia G. I used to know Talia. Probably not the same Talia I used to know. If so, high school days. And then we also use this light here. I'm turning it on now, which is just a pain in the ass, but really bright. We bounce it off the wall, and that gives us a little bit of, well, better lighting. And I can kill this back here. We won't split as much. But one thing we do want to improve upon, although I'm going to need that light in a minute, or the overhead, is the lighting in here. Yeah, I told you, man, that Discord's busy. It's awesome. If y'all don't know what Nikki's talking about, it's about our Patreon Discord. It is extremely busy, extremely active, extremely helpful. It's pretty badass. So a few quick things before we get to showing babies. Somebody asked what happened to TGR. I will talk about that. What I know everything. Remember, we're two separate companies in two separate states, separated by roughly 1,000 miles, probably a little more. Now I used to be in Kansas or Missouri. And TGR, when I first start off with TGR and tall grass reptiles are totally separate. That may confuse people. They are known. TGR was kind of a spinoff, but a separate company, like a guy that had worked with tall grass reptiles, wanted to start a rat company, spread off and use those initials with blessing. So they are a completely separate company. So tall grass reptiles sell snakes, still running, still doing everything, not connected to TGRX systems. TGRX systems, unfortunately, closed. And it sucks. I mean, I know I've had people contact me, say, hey, what about this and this and this? I don't have the answers for you. You're going to have to try to reach TGR. I know that may be difficult, but I'm pretty sure they're inundated. You can also use your own card companies and things like that, or PayPal, or whoever you use. But they are closed. I mean, it was kind of a victim of growth, I think, and investing in trying to grow a business that was looking very, very favorable. And then you had the COVID hit, along with some machine issues and just being, if those things come at the wrong time, it can kill even a successful business. So at this point, that's what's going on. That's all I know. I don't know anything else. It's just me speculating on what is happening. But there is that. So the mahogany baby, I will talk about that because this is a baby update video. Very, very heartbreaking. And I did post it on the Patreon. I got some pictures. I don't know if I ever posted them. I'll share. So, wow, Kyle from South Africa. That's pretty awesome. One, that you're up that late watching this, and two, you're watching South Africa, a place I really want to go visit sometime, along with a lot of Africa. So much cool shit in Africa, animal-wise. Like I want to go see the animals. But so that clutch, we only had 2 eggs out of that clutch that were viable. First year male, and I believe first year. No, it wasn't first year female in that one. Anyway, Louisiana's awesome, but not as far away. One of them died like day 45 in the egg, probably day 45, 48. It's hard to tell for sure, but you can tell by the development a little bit, get a kind of a guess. And then from Santa Claus, from Finland, that always amazed me. It's people from other countries, and the fact that we're seeing in places like that, honestly, really blows my mind. And don't worry, Alabama, I'm from the middle of nowhere, Kansas. The second one was doing great, looked awesome. Unfortunately, whenever I cut the egg, if you remember, I couldn't see its head. Its head was down. Not uncommon. Okay. It's doing good. Checked it one day, doing good. Checked it the next day because it should be time for him to start crawling out. And its head was out, which is pretty normal, but it didn't react when I opened it, which is not a good sign. And it had actually, when it went to move its head up and through, had gone in between it and the umbilicus, and when it tried to go out, it twisted the umbilicus around its own neck. So unfortunately, that entire clutch ended up being a wash. Not that one didn't hatch. I mean, it hatched fine. It just killed itself in the umbilicus. So That's one of those uncontrollable things. So we do have clutch 2 and 3. I would do sticker trades if I was able to keep up with it and if I had stickers. I haven't even got stickers people sent me put up yet. I've been meaning to because I wanted to do an entire row up and it'd be cool. Ireland, god damn man, you guys are blowing my mind. But I don't have any to trade. I've never had stickers made. I know that seems crazy. Just never done it. But I do want to share clutches 2 and 3 with you. And tell you make sure to and help get us some more subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, you should be. And also, of course, check out the Patreon. It's lots of fun. Now, let's look at babies, right? So first I'm going to show you this rack over here. I got 2 of them that I have placed in this rack. Slacking, I know, right? This one is probably the creme de la creme I'm about to show you for the year so far. And that is this right here. Look at that. Now that is a zebra bee, so a pastel spider exanthic. Obviously, I know some of the feelings people have on the spider stuff. I love it. This snake is a little bitty female. All the eggs from this clutch were not very big, but they all did really well. We had one egg that did not make it, that never showed veins, and we actually have had a few hoodies made, but we've got them. But we might do something with our Patreon peeps or something. I don't know. Anyway, this is a little female, but looking good. Now, this is from the other clutch, from our 03 clutch, and this is a little male keeper, or I say keeper, hopefully keeper. Wasn't supposed to say that, but I did, so there you know. And this thing is a pastel champagne, we'll fly on it, scaleless head. Let me see if I can't zoom in there on that for you. And a very nice example of scaleless head. If you look close, you can probably see how much is removed. So really nice. Now, I will likely hold that male. The reason being is I typically don't keep male champagne stuff, but in our scaleless project, I do want to do that so I can add it. What about baby onesies? That would be badass. I never even thought about that. We could, I don't know, I could do some crazy stuff with baby onesies. My 8th grade humor's coming out like, this is what happens when mommy likes daddy's balls and has a ball python on it. Maybe. That'd be pretty hilarious, right? Guinness. Nice. I do like some Guinness. Taylor, I don't know. I honestly don't know on that zebra bee. It kind of depends. Like, it kind of depends. Honestly, Brad, my phone, which everybody on Patreon has, otherwise it's really hard on messages. I just get overly inundated and I cannot keep up with it. So if you're sending me Facebook message, Instagram message, I don't get back to you. Don't take it personal. It's not meant to be a slight. You have to understand, man, I'm working 40 plus hours a week at a day job, and I'm coming here and doing this another 30 or 40, trying to do the social media and the messages that come in. There is just honestly not enough of me to do that. So we do try to, and I know this sounds like an advertisement or a pay to talk to me, and that's not what it's meant to be, but it kind of is. And we do try to treat our Patreon customers at that $5 a little more because that's our biggest supporters. So it is what it is. I mean, one of the reasons we built it is to have that guaranteed, and we even put a max size on that it can never get past, so we can make sure and keep up with those folks. So honestly, that's the best way. I hate to be an ass about it, but I'm not trying to be. But if you sign up for that, we put our phone number out there. There's ways to text us on there through our business number or even my cell phone, and then you hit me up. And the people who run like Nikki can tell you, you hit me up, I'll get back to you. If I miss it, it's because a lot of shit comes in. Just hit me up again, I'll get back to you on that. But let's look at some more babies from that clutch. So we're going to start up here. See if we have enough. Let me turn this overhead on. It'll be a little bit bright, but it'll wash us out a tad, but give us enough light. What's up, Chris? We're just showing off the babies on a quick live. So this one is a little straight up exanthic. Now this clutch was really strange. They actually kind of both were. So the exanthic zebra bee I showed you, which I guess I don't need to say exanthic zebra bee, it's kind of built in there, is female. Everything else in the clutch was male, right? What the hell? But then the other clutch flipped. We got a ton of females and only one male, which I showed you. So this is a straight up exanthic, is what I believe we actually have here. I don't think it's pastel exanthic, just really nice, really clean, really bright. And you can even see in the sides, it gets almost white down there. Really cool looking little snake. Now this thing's smoking. I believe we have an exanthic pastel here. Also a little male. Check that thing out. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Late as always. I can see Corey there. Anna's there saying, wait, I'm showing him, man. I can't wait. Another little Xanthic pastel. And Brian, that's awesome. And I'm going to tell you too, man, if you're inspired to start breeding from us, you should definitely look into the Patreon if you're not there. I can't remember all the names that are there. And just me there. And it's a lot of people that got into this and grew because of that group. So just for the Discord alone, for the community, it's certainly worth it. Another pastel Xanthic. If you guys remember, man, Xanthic was what got me into it. So to hatch these baby Xanthics is totally the shit. This is a tiny one too. We had two tiny. This one and the zebra bee. This was full of spunk though. It's already bit me. The only baby that's tagged me. This is a very, very, very clean Xanthic spider. Now if you look, I always talk about selectively breeding my spiders to not have spots. This one is a prime example of that. You're not seeing the spots on the side of the alien heads. Just a very, very clean, beautiful pattern all through there. If I can get that thing to focus a little bit better for you. Focus. I love that snake. And see, it's time to think about nailing our ass again. So we'll close it up. Now I'll show you all the mean ones. This mom always has mean babies. They've all tried, but I know that's not got me. They're all big. So this is what we think is just a straight champagne. I know. And this is a little female, but look at how much pattern she has. Very, very cool looking little champagne. This is another champagne pastel. Of course, there's pinstripe in this clutch too, so if we're missing anything, that would be the gene. This one is not scaleless head, however, but this is also a little female. And there's actually a lot more color on it than the camera's picking up. The yellow stands out a lot more. You can see a little bit of dirt inside over, well, I guess I don't know where to point to it. I'll say right there. That actually stands out there. It kind of picked it up. That's about proper right there. That's getting good color and good amount of that. That's actually getting the right contrast in the snake. That's pretty accurate, at least what I'm seeing on my phone now. Another little female. This is just a straight up champagne. Doo-doo-doo. She's beautiful. She took a launch or two at me but didn't get me. It's quicker than you. And a scaleless head pinstripe. This one's really, you can really see the example there. Now this one taught me something. I did something on this snake, and that is, and we've even said this before too, that all scaleless heads have a split tail scale. That is not true. Most do. This one does not, but you can look and you can see it's obvious 100% scaleless head. And no, that's not just a little patch of missing scales or anything. You can actually see the micro scaling on it as well, where the scales are smaller and everything else on that. On Saturday, you're popping down for rats, but I won't be here on Saturday. You'll have to get with Kurt. He has a key he can bring in. And then we have this little pin right here. But I'll go back and show you the Xanthics again, Anno. Just tell me when you're ready. We'll gladly show them to you. So those are all the babies. We did have one more pinstripe scaleless head. However, it was out of the egg. Big, huge baby. Doing great. And then all of a sudden it was gone. So I'm not sure what happened to that. We did... we might take a look inside its guts, see if I can see anything. I did freeze it for that purpose. Yeah. So anyway, that is the babies that have hatched out so far. No, you don't. We actually, you do know where that key is, but because of the venomous snakes and having people stay here and some people coming here, so far we've only had adults, but over July 4th weekend I had families staying here that has children. I know other people are coming with kids or teenagers, so what we did, and we've always planned to do this anyway, is there is a separate lock, not just to get into the house, but to get into the reptile room. And those keys aren't stashed. I have one and Kurt has one. It's the only two keys right now. So that way we can control access in here. That way, we don't get somebody bit by something venomous. I mean, just me being overly cautious, right? Overly cautious on how we do everything. So it's actually through... Every venomous snake is now behind a locked front door, a locked door to the reptile room, and then a locked cage. Again, it's one of those can't be too secure kind of things. So, but if you come down, because I'm actually leaving the state Saturday morning, hopefully around 4 a.m. Yeah, I don't want to get by any cobras. That'd be hard. I don't have any of those, right, Caleb? But maybe one day. So, I got crazy hair. And so we're going to be actually in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So if you live in the area, look for me. You might see me running around down there. I got a local guy I'm going to reach out to see if I can't set up a filming thing. So we're going to try to feature a breeder from Tennessee while we're there. Something I kind of like to do. So we're going to work on that. All right, so anybody have any questions about the babies we just showed, or any more information you want? I'm setting right out lights coming up. So, got to replace your girl that got loose. Yeah, let me set this camera up. That might be a little bit better. Oh, somebody sent me a text message or two. Yeah, no worries. All right. So if anybody has any questions, oh, the ASF girls, yeah, hit up Kurt. He'll certainly help you with that. I just won't be around, unfortunately. It doesn't mean he doesn't have access. He'll end up coming up here. That's going to be up to him. He's got to come up here a lot anyway, because somebody's got to take care of the animals while I'm gone, including the pool. Somebody's got to take care of the pool while we're gone. So Kurt will be handling all of that. And yes, of course, we'll be headed to Patreon after this for a few minutes. And like I say, we'll show you the Xanthics on there. How much am I asking for the zebra? I don't know yet. Like I say, right now, I'm sure we're going to sell it. And if we do sell it, I can make you this promise, okay? I did, Corey, because of having to wear a mask. It was hot, it was itchy, and it sucked. So it's gone. Because we I hate to use the word specialize, but because Xanthic is a big thing to us, and that's kind of what we really hung our hat on early, and what we're raising up to really hang our hat on in the future, like next year especially, I can't even talk today. With that, we're going to have a lot of those animals, but a lot of our people that are on our Patreon page are really wanting the Xanthic stuff, and they're going to sell there first. If I have an Xanthic that hits public in the next 2-3 years, I'll be surprised. What I mean by public, I'll mean off Patreon. I just don't anticipate that. Typically, those collections, when we do release those babies for sale, they sell in about 5 minutes. So yeah, and when will those be available on Patreon? I don't know. None of them have even fed, man. Like, literally, these are just out the egg, and I'm really excited because it's our first babies that'll hatch at the same time of the year. I wanted to share them with you. They're going to have their first chance to feed on tomorrow, and we'll see how they do. Now, they got to eat several times and grow. We got some other stuff I want to release first, and then kind of reset what we're going to do for specials and everything else. We have to pick that, and then we'll end up releasing. We may not release all the examples at the same time. We're going to release things in groups, so we're going to kind of do that a little different. And how we talked about, and that's what's going to happen. So we will be releasing all of those. I do not anticipate keeping anything other than maybe the Zebra Bee. Now that doesn't mean we won't hold it for a special or something of that nature, but that's not the only Xanthic clutch coming. I actually have another one with, I think, 8 or 9 eggs cooking, and a few more yet to go. So yes, I like what Chris is saying. Help me out. Smash the like button, subscribe, join, check out everything. I mean, honestly, guys, I'll be very honest with you. I don't hesitate to do that. Maybe it's going to get me in trouble. But the YouTube, I don't know what they've done or what we've done, but they don't much like us. They've quit really pushing what we do for some reason. I don't know. Maybe I offended somebody. And in this kind of culture, I don't try to, but hell, you offend an ant anymore, and then it's like the whole world falls apart. I mean, there are some things that are definitely over the line you shouldn't say in the world. We can all think of people we know who have said those. I can think of one very recently in my own town who put something on Twitter that was a completely moronic thing to write on Twitter. Just very insensitive and bad timing. And plus, if you look at his history, it's crapping all the time. Those kind of people shouldn't be pushed, yet they get pushed by the media on accident. If any of you follow the national news, you know probably the exact asswipe I'm talking about. But, yeah. It's not hard to figure out who that is. Just Google tweet Manhattan, Kansas, like you can find it. Trust me. Yeah. But for whatever reason, in a long story short, a lot of our views have been cut. We don't get pushed near as much, and that has really put a damper on things we're trying to do. So, and it's not because we want to be famous. I really don't care. The last thing I want to be in the world is famous. I learned that. I can tell you that's honest. And like when we go to a show, say Daytona, which we're still hoping to go to Daytona as long as on the do not travel list for us, come, time it's open in COVID season. That, we go to that show and a lot of people are going to know who we are, and that's great. But it gets very, very, you have to give a lot of energy, and it's very, very tiring. And, then I can walk across the street to like the subway and nobody knows who I am. And I couldn't imagine if, my entire life was like that, where everywhere I went, I had to give that much energy to people, and I don't ever want to be famous. But we do need the YouTube to continue to grow. I mean, it's how we run our business, so it is important. And I don't mind industry being known, but I don't want to be known across the world. So, can I show my favorite baby snake on camera? Oh, I did. I showed every baby snake we've hatched this year on camera just now. I mean, we always run our season a little bit later than most for whatever reason, and that's it. We got more hatching. The next set of eggs that will hatch were laid June 14th. So once we get to about June, let's see, July 14th, about August, say 10th, around that time on for about a month, we're going to be doing a massive amount of egg cuttings. Boom, 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 boom. So that's kind of where that goes. And you'll see a lot more babies there. I'd say my favorite baby right now, of course I'm partial, is going to be the zebra bee. That's my favorite one. Followed closely by both those champagne pens, you know. Awesome. Congratulations. Oh, yeah. I still have girls waiting to go. Our best month last year for laying eggs was September. So we're still early, you know. Chris, man, I'm sorry. I can tell you this. I'd love to tell you it gets easier. It doesn't. It'll piss you off every time. It'll make you feel like crap every time. And, you know, it's the worst part of breeding is a baby passing away or an adult, anything passing away. And the bigger you get, the more it happens. And you do get a little, I mean, to expect it to a certain amount. And maybe it's not as bad, but it happens more and it still sucks, you know. Me and my RC. So sound like, oh, about overbuying. Yeah, man, that's a danger you can get into. But just make sure you can. Here's the thing about overbuying. It all comes down to your personal finances. I mean, you know, if you just won the lottery, buy all the shit you want, right? But it's not about how much the snakes cost. That's what people get hung up on. Like, well, I just got my time. I just got this. I just got whatever. You know, I'm gonna go buy this. You know, I can afford it. But it's not affording the purchase of the snake that's the problem. It's affording, you know, all the everything that comes with it. Like, if I told you what my electric bill was last month, you shit your pants. Okay, you know, now we have to pay electric bill for 2 houses, but it was around $500 on electric total between both buildings. You know, my home and then here. This one being the larger one, and nobody's even fucking living here, right? They have to be fed, right? Housed, cleaned, litter bills, feed bills, you know, vet bills if you need vets, which isn't very often, honestly. So like it just water. I mean, it just gets expensive, and you want to make sure you can afford what you've got to keep caging. I mean, every time I add a new rack, you know, uh, it hurts, and I feel that. Like I literally feel adding that rack. So speaking of which, watch soon because we did a video updating on what we think of this rack. So you're going to see that now that we've had it for a while, been using it, filled it with animals. You're going to get a video that shares our full opinion on it. Speaking of that, there's Pride of Texas Pythons. I'm sure he's wanting to see that video. He's waiting on that. So we'll see if we're still friends afterwards. I think we will be. I've got to give you guys a teaser. It's been great. I really, really like it. And we've had animals eating it that weren't feeding. And the humidity in it's been amazing. So I won't keep you waiting too long. Yeah, you almost think we planned that, but I swear to God we didn't. All right, before I hop off of here, so I do want to keep this just a little bit short. So I gotta go to Patreon, I gotta clean some tubs, and then I gotta go to bed. Believe it or not, I actually have to go see the doctor tomorrow because I've been having this issue with pressure in my head on my ears from probably getting old. And you get old, your body makes more crap like wax and water from swimming, messing with them. So I gotta go get that all cleaned out. It's gonna suck. I do not have any leopard fireflies in our collection, so sorry, I can't help you on that. Somebody did ask about ball python pricing. I do want to touch on that. So here's how I price my balls. Okay, still funny to me. We're gonna look at a lot of different places and kind of see what the prices are. You know, see what they're selling. You know, anything that's super low, I just kind of kick out and ignore because half the time you get what you pay for. Whereas people are trying to blow out stuff, and I don't think I have to do that. And I'm not going to do that, you know, but I don't try to be the highest either. You know, I mean, there are people who can get more money than I can, and I understand the dynamics of that. You know, Brian Barczyk's always going to be able to sell for more than I can sell for. It's just a fact of life. I think that's why you get so much shit from a lot of breeders. It's a jealousy thing. But when you've built that network and you've built that following, you're able to do that. You just are. It's marketing, right? I don't handle that many females while they're breeding. During breeding season, sure. But most of the time I'm handling a snake is for cleaning at this point. There's 105 animals in this house I have to take care of on a daily basis. So, I'm not just taking them out, hanging out with them too often. There's a few exceptions that I do like to just take out, depending on the day. My clits, some of the really super nice crap I produce. Zeus gets to come out a lot more. I like taking my Mystic Potion out. He's really fucking cool. So some of them do get to come out more than others, but for more than just usually I'm clean. I'll take them out, handle them a few. I'll take them out and inspect them, but I'm not like running around the snake for 30 minutes out. And once they're starting to coil in the lay position, I honestly try not to fuck with them at all until they lay. So I've got a few I have to check on daily to see do we have eggs, and then they do. I got to go, deal with that. So that's kind of how that works. All right, anything else before we, pricing, I didn't even get to that. So we kind of check those sources. We kind of look at what we got to, and I kind of do some of it by off the top of my head and those sources I've checked. Yeah, the GHI Mojave, he comes out a lot. I do like her. Also, it tends to be snakes that aren't on the lowest part, which kind of hurt the GHI Mojave's out time, But this was because my back's fucked and has been for a couple of years. So, I ain't going to get fixed all the way. I do what I can. I do a lot of stretches with it. I do a lot of chiropractor with it. And one day they're going to have to go in there and fuse a bunch of shit. I'm trying to put that off as I can. Because I heard it sucks. But I may never do it. I may just roll with it forever. So that's kind of how we price. And then certain things too, like, sometimes you price animal. I'll be honest. Like when I look at my Xanthic spider that I just showed, okay, I'll put my Xanthic spider up against anybody else's Xanthic spiders that produces them, and say that I think I can charge top quality for that. I think I can charge what the John Dogs of the world charge. For that, because I have selectively picked those animals to have that certain look where mine are going to look different and mine are going to look, I feel, better than most of them out there, whether it's the color and the pattern, and that was done on purpose. And we've been producing that type of spider now for long enough, and we do not produce a lot of wobbly spiders. I do have one that's a little wobbly this year, but as it was really young, as it was from last year actually, and as it's the end. And as it was growing, it's starting to do a lot better. And most of it's excitement level. If you get it not excited, it's fine. Everybody gets excited when it feeds, and it gets all, So, but it actually strikes on its own, hits on its own, coils on its own, does fine, eats on its own, eats right side up, all that kind of crap. But I think what we produce is notable, and so I don't, that's going to factor in the price as well. Like that zebra bee I showed. This is an exceptional zebra bee. I'm going to price it if I do sell it like an exceptional zebra bee. That's just the way it is. I like my champagne line a lot. Our blitz stuff is some of the better blitz stuff. We're one of the first ones to really work with that a lot. Us and actually Tallgrass Reptiles. We actually got ours from Tallgrass Reptiles, so they beat us to the punch on that one. But I think there's a lot to be unlocked and do with that. It just kind of depends. So that's kind of how we price. We try to kind of be with everybody, but we're not going to be the highest. Usually we're not going to be the lowest. We're going to be somewhere in there though. So yeah. So the spotless spider is not a separate gene. I want to be clear if I made it sound like it's a different morph. It's just a spider, but it's going to look like a spider leopard. Although I haven't put too much spider with leopard, but my leopard right now we actually have eggs from a leopard pastel, but it was bred to a blitz. So that's where we're going. But for other people. Sometimes somebody asks a question, they write spotless spider, and they'll be like, oh, this guy's got spotless spiders, and they think it's something new. So I kind of not always answer that question for who wrote it, but for who others who are reading it. So it's just from line breeding, by picking the right examples and then picking my holdback selectively. So it's not a separate gene, it's just because that's the look I like, so that's the look I've kept. Rather than just going, I'm going to sell. I'm like, no this, and no this, and no this. I need for what I'm doing, and pushing the rest out to get the look that I want. And I've been working with spiders since I first got in. And my first male he's got a lot of spotting, Now my first Xanthic spider doesn't have very much. It's where I made the decision that was the route I wanted to go, and I liked that look better, and we worked towards that. So, anyway. All right, guys, anything else on here before we slide over to Patreon? Also, forget that super chat button does work if anybody's so inclined. Not required, but just like a waitress, I do like a tip. I don't like just a tip, though. Well, actually, I'm still holding with thing. I'm not even going to go there. I'll probably get fired. Thank you, Abigail. I appreciate it. Uh, I'm really excited. I love hatchling xanthic babies. It's one of my favorite things. Like what I got into this to do. All right, guys, well, that's it. We've been at this for about a half hour. So what we'll do is we are going to hop off of here, unless the only way we can stay up. There's a super chat. Let's say we get a super chat for $5 or more. We'll stay for a few more minutes, answer a few more questions. So for everyone that comes in, we'll stay for 5 more minutes. My clock's at 30. We're going to stay to 35. And that is all thanks to Balls of Paradise. Everybody can thank them for having to put up with me for a little longer. Thank you, Balls of Paradise. So, we got another $2. Thanks from Shotgun Shane 15. So now I got to stay till 37 minutes. Man, y'all killing me. Y'all killing me. You'll keep me on here all night. You can't do that. I will cut it off at some point because this guy does have to go to bed. The bells are awesome. I love my bells. We're going to hatch more bells this year, at least we hope to. We had 8 eggs laid from our first bell female. We have another bell that is pregnant. She was bred to a lesser, I think just a lesser, because they're both possible bell pastels that I produce myself. So hatching bells is great. It was one of those things I always wanted to hatch before I ever buy one. And we hatched 2 we've hatched probably, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 super lessers, kept 2 of them. And yeah, you do need your Patreon chat. I'll get it to you. Trust me. Patreon's going to get a lot of interesting content over this next week because you're going to get me on vacation. Oh, damn. Now I got to stay for an extra 5 more minutes. So now, let's see, that was 37. Now we're up to 42. I got to stay for 42. So till my clock says 42, and it's just now turned into 32. So y'all got me for 10 more minutes. Another 15 minutes. So now I got to stay till 47. Can we get me here till an hour? I'll stay here for an hour. We're 13 away, and y'all can have me for an hour if you want. Do I like bell over yellow belly or ivory? I do. The ivory is a super yellow belly. I prefer the bell. Now, but it comes down to when I say I prefer the bell. Understand that I'm talking about the look of it, right? I like the super bright white of a super lesser. That's my favorite bell to make. But I also have a super Mojave, which they're not quite as bright white and have a gray head. Excuse me, the RC is kind of coming back up on me. But part of it's breed purposes, So you got to keep what you want for breed purposes. You can't text. Oh, man. All right. Cody put another 10 on. He's making a hurricane, so why the hell not? So we're $3 now away, I believe, from having to stay for a full hour. And the full hour is where I have to cut it off. So I do have to go to Patreon. I do have to go to bed. I do got to work tonight. You guys are too generous to me, though. I really do appreciate it. That's awesome. It all depends what you're breeding. So, like, if you're wanting to put a lot of yellow belly into your collection, then an ivory is the way to go. We have an ivory, too, an inchy ivory that we'll be using. So, like, there is a point to that. And, yeah. Patreon chat, we're just going to stay until it's kind of done. Yeah, kind of like we do. I can work and talk to you guys at the same time. I might clean a tub or two while I gotcha. Show you how we do that. It's not really that exciting. I mean, I just wash it. It's like washing dishes. I actually literally use Dawn. First shot at the ivory this year. I'm keeping it. It's a female. I'll do a backflip. Yeah, ivories are great. So don't think I'm knocking it. But from the visual point, I prefer the lessers. But a breed point, it depends on my project. So I currently have super lessers. I currently have a male ivory. And I have another male super Mojave. The reason for the super Mojave is so I can put it to my, actually, I think it might be a female, so I put the mystic to it and get my mystic potions and things like that. But I really want. I have to look back and see what sex it is. I don't remember. It's on my computer. I just want to brazen it up. I had a reason for it. Popping and weaning all in their waters. Wine here. Oh, pooping and weaning all in their water. Yeah, rats are nasty. They'll do that. Rats are gross little creatures, but they're really smart. And they can be very lovey, so I know we get a lot of crap as reptile breeders for killing them all, but it's like I say, they don't eat carrots, right? Ain't gonna happen. Trying to decide what other genes would look great with lesser. So pastel goes really good with lesser, and I'll tell you something I'd like to work towards at some point. We kind of talk about it in the pairing videos that you're seeing. So if you a feed trouser button, you know what? Maybe we can do a feed your fiend with trousers soon. So that's something we can definitely do. I know a lot of people ask about Trouser. He's doing great. He's actually breeding right now, or trying to. Supposed to be. So But we kind of talk about some of those genes when you see those at win, what we would pair them with on Patreon if left our own devices. And I think if you do like a lesser pastel exanthic, it's going to be awesome. Lesser goes well with GHI, though I prefer Mojave with GHI personally. But you can do lesser GHI and it looks good. Lesser's going to kind of brighten a lot of stuff up, fade a lot of stuff out. You can't really go wrong with lesser. I really like lesser. It goes well with spider. Lesser pastel spiders are awesome. So a lot of stuff you can do. This is, what is your female to male recommended ratio for small hobby breeders? Oh, I'll get to the Daytona, Jeff. I think that's the best I can say. So my favorite ratio is about a 1-to-3. I don't like putting my males past about 3 females. So that's kind of where I like to cut that off. Now I breed them pretty hard to those 3 females till I think they're done, but I don't want to run that through anymore. And I try to rotate it so it's 1 female, 2, 3. Then the next week this one will be 1, 2, 3. The next week 1, 2, 3. Make sure everybody's getting fresh sperm. That's probably the grossest thing I ever thought I'd have to say on a video. Fresh sperm. Man, if only my health teacher could see me now. Because it's great you say fresh sperm, you're going to giggle, you know. But that's kind of how we do it. That's what I'd say the great ratio is. But it's also always good. I mean, if you only are going to have 4 snakes, you know, I'd say have 5 and have a backup male. Because if your male poops out, then you're kind of shit. So, you know, it also depends. But a 1-to-3 is about a good ratio. And if you think about it, we plan on having a total of about, 40, which I think I've got 30 now, FB40 tubs for adult males down the road. And we're going to have about 120 adult female tubs. So that's right in what I'm trying to keep for myself. So that should kind of give you an idea that what I'm talking about is what I'm practicing what I preach, whether it's small or large. So bring us to Daytona. The only thing on Daytona is this. So here's the thing, guys. On Daytona, man, Olympus wants to be there, right? And actually, Olympus wants to be there, and full Olympus, not half Olympus this year. Well, I should say 3/4 Olympus, like it was last year. When I say 3/4 is because I'm taller than Kurt. So by height, 3/4 of us was there. But Kurt wants to come this year too. We have my adult female tuds are FB70, so these guys over here, the big ones. So we have a place booked, man, right there. Nice condo. It's awesome. 1-to-4 males. I have 1-to-3, basically. It'll be 40 to 120 eventually. Right now, I don't know exactly. It probably will have young males. Well, see, that'd be great, Jeff. But the problem is, right now in Kansas, if I go to Florida, I get put on a 2-week quarantine mandatory when I get back into the state, which would mean that for me to make that trip, I have to take an additional 2 weeks off of work that I don't know if I'll be able to do. And I know Kurt can't do that because he hasn't been at his job as long as I have to have that much time. But I also can't give up 2 weeks of vacation. Like, I don't have that I'm able to say, oh yeah, that's fine. So, and there may also be some rules put in place where if you make that trip, knowing that it's on a do not travel list, that there could be some repercussions at my day job for that. So it all kind of depends on that. That's the only hang up. If Florida comes off the do not travel list for Kansas by the 1st of August, man, we're fucking there, right? We're there. But we actually filmed a couple business videos the other day. But if it doesn't, we will seriously have to reevaluate. And if we don't, then, you know, I'll probably be making a different trip that will be filming a different style, something completely off the wall that I'll tell you guys about if we end up doing it. And this is not my day job, Davis. I wish it was my day job. The goal is for this to be my day job. And if this was my full-time job, then to hell with it, man. I'd go to Florida. I mean, what's my boss going to do, right? I mean, if this is my full-time job, I would be my own boss. But it's not, there's no way this could support me. There's no way if this is my only income. And Kurt's only income. There ain't enough money there, guys. Right? I mean, we're still in grow phase. We're still in invest phase. We're still in get it there phase. So, and I will be for at least the next 3 years. Minimum. More likely 4 to 5, but 3 at minimum. So, I work a lot. I mean, if this was my only job, I would get to your messages better. You know, I would do more of this kind of stuff. We'd probably be doing daily videos, a la Chris Hardwick. We'd be doing those things that we just simply can't do. So, yeah, we are continuing the business series. We kind of thought of some new things to film with it. We were supposed to film with our tax guy, but remember, tax season got pushed back, so his world is this shit show. So we got to let that all get done first. And then once he gets done with that, then we want to sit down with our tax guy and film with him and kind of talk about all that other thing. So my other job, Davis, is I work in law enforcement. And I have for over 20 years. Actually, I've worked in law enforcement since 1999 in a couple different places during that time in multiple capacities. So, yeah, it's been a long career. It's been a great career. And I really don't get into the exact place I work or any of that on here for obvious reasons. I mean, this isn't the forum for it. And with working any government job, if I start saying this is where I work and I say something where it's connected to that, it can have a more of an impact on that, and that's not fair to my employer or fair to you guys or me. I have to change how but that's what I do. So, and Tinley, I'm not debating on Daytona or Tinley. For me, it's Daytona. And the reason is it's not that Tinley isn't great. Tinley's awesome. I've been there before. It's amazing. But Tinley will be when I have a trip with my wife every year planned. Although that's also on the do not travel list, so we'll see how it goes. And in October, but it should be off by then. So, and souls in a bottle. Souls in a bottle. If you're looking at buying racks, I'll go ahead and let the cat out the bag. You're gonna be happy. That's what I can tell you. I mean, I tried really hard to find something to bitch about, and I really couldn't find anything I wanted to bitch about, which is saying a lot, because I can bitch pretty easy. So, where are we at, Davis? It's kind of funny because I'm curious what reptile shop you might have. You ain't in Kansas, are you? Because you are in Kansas, maybe you did talk to me. Shit, I don't know. There's actually quite a few cops involved in this, and it's a great career, and I always knew that when I went into law enforcement at a very early age, I'd have two careers. So, yeah. I actually have been recognized at work twice for what I do here, which was kind of interesting. One was in a courthouse from a guy whose trial I had to attend. That was kind of neat. I had nothing bad. It was just still kind of strange. I was in a McDonald's drive-thru and I was getting like lunch when I was in a hurry, So it was just always interesting. But it doesn't happen very often. But yeah, a loose snake behind me on the floor. Where? Maybe look, because there ain't one. Oh man. So yeah, that's kind of where all of that is. Oh, and Tampa is like a breed on the side, and that's pretty common because you got to think about it. So in my line of work, wherever I may be, or wherever like you do it at, like I'm in Kansas, obviously, but there is usually a pretty decent retirement. Different states has different levels and things like that. So a lot of guys will try to start something on the side, knowing that they're going to retire at a fairly early age, and they don't really want to be retired. So to see if I did that, like, it would have to be sanctioned by my employer, and I don't think they're going to go for that. Like, especially if they ever watch what I do here. And some departments don't care, but mine cares. Mine is very conscientious, and I think rightfully so, about the image we put out there. And if we have policies on that, because if you got a guy who's going on social media or going out in the public, and even though we have the freedom of speech, everybody has that, and I'm sworn to protect and uphold freedom of speech for anybody, regardless of who they are. But as a police officer, you can't go out and be spouting off a bunch of hateful stuff on videos or on anything else like that, or what you post is so visible to the public if you're posting it as a cop, that you have to be very conscientious of what you say and how you present it. And a misstep on that can really, even if it's an accident, damage the department's reputation a lot. And also it's just something to think about. So the Gator PSA was a hit. Yeah, that was me. But that was also sanctioned by the PD. Like, I actually did not come up with that idea. So I was just involved in it. But they just picked me because, why wouldn't you, I guess? I mean, I would like to say that I'm a little bit different than a lot of the cops out there. That I'm going to be a little bit more easygoing, a little bit more talkative, and I personally believe in policing from the community. And what I mean is, like, when you work in that line of work, uh, if the community doesn't believe in you, then what do you got, right? What do you got? So your community, and you'll never have everybody, uh, but they have to see that, you're part of them, and you have the community interest at heart, and you have the community belief at heart, and you're not just out there just to be out there every day. You're out there, and you talk to them like they're people. You talk to them like a human, and you see them as more than just, something that fits in a box. That they're more than that. Even if you're taking somebody to jail, you can still treat them like a person, and take a few minutes extra to do what you need to do. And not be rushed. There's a lot of things that I think we as cops can do. Awesome, go for it, Anthony. And I think that if there's one thing I pride myself in, it's that I try to do that. No, that doesn't mean I've ever been perfect. Have I had my days where I'm having a rough day and I've probably been too short with somebody? Yeah, I have, and that's part of it, right? But that's kind of my feeling. So, how many clutches do I have cooking, and what's my best? So far this year, I think we're at clutch 10, I think. With 3 of them out, and then I've got 4 clutches that are from Alex. That because we're watching his snakes, his house burned down, so we're breeding those for him. So there's currently 11 in the incubator, with probably another 20 to 22 to go. Right? There's gonna be babies popping all over here. What my best one is hard to say. That's so much up for debate. I don't have the ultimate stuff, we have small Olympus shirts, Edward. We have small. So small is something that. But here's the thing: if I owe you a shirt, if you're on a Patreon, I owe you a shirt. There's a post in the community tab. You can go look at. Has the email you're supposed to send. Send that email so she can get you on the list. She sends me that list. It's a living document. I send out. I swap the colors out, and that's how we're trying to keep up. So if you don't send her an email and say, "Hey, I've been there 6 months. It's time for my shirt," we're not going to have it tracked. If you do, she sends that to me. We're getting stuff out. Currently in stock, I have a little bit of everything, but sizes over 2XL. And I've got I just put in about an almost $800 t-shirt order. So we will have those, other sizes that we don't have as often in, and we'll get those sent out, and we'll have 15. No, we actually have XXL. I always keep those in stock because that's what I wear, and I wear mine out. Like I have to replace them every now and then because I get holes in them and shit. And so I always try to have XXL in stock. And, we're Americans. Most Americans, we're not small human beings. So I go through a lot of XXLs. And, also I had to do one time, it was like 6'9". Like, that's a big shirt. It is. So like, we've gone up to really pretty good sizes. See, good. And I've got more 4Xs on the way. So those are coming. Some 3Xs are coming. All that's coming. Probably will be here within about 3 weeks, I hope, and we can start getting those other sizes out. My first priority when the new ones come in is going to be to get the ones out where people have been waiting on the extra. People have been waiting a long ass time on us, and I want to get them taken care of right away, and then we'll start putting them out. So, but make sure and email that email address. I don't want to put it out here on YouTube. I will only go to Patreon. If I put it out here on YouTube, people are going to start sending shit to it probably that aren't even on Patreon, so we won't do that. We'll get you taken care of. If we owe you those shirts, we want to get them to you, and I'm really excited that I have a way that's a lot better to do it. And when we sit down and do it now, it's a lot quicker. I can just bust them out, and we ship them out. So it's amazing. I think I dropped, I don't know. I ran out of envelopes for the day. So we mailed them out until I ran out of envelopes. So when I come back from vacation, I have to go buy a bunch of envelopes so I can start doing more, and then we'll get the rest of them sent out. So I think I sent out about 8 to 10. I know my t-shirt shipping bill was, over $50. So we're working on it. What is the largest rat and feed? I almost eyeball that shit. You're probably at a medium at that you can get away with, or a large or small fat, I guess. But as long as it's the size around. So as far as best clutch in the incubator right now, damn, man. There's a clutch of 11 eggs. That's cool just because of size. Trying to think, we've got some more scaleless head stuff cooking. I'm probably most excited about my pastel head exanthic to my zebra bee, just because it's another shot at killer zebras, so all kinds of stuff, right? There's a typo in the title of the stream. Well, I typed it on my cell phone, so, that shit happens. So I can fix that, or maybe I don't. I don't even know what the title of the stream is. So I may just leave it. Honestly, I don't really care about the typos on this. It is what it is. Thought yay big. So yeah, we did. We just shipped out a bunch. So we are working on that. We are trying to be better. We need to be better. I'll say that. My best holdback. Well, man, I don't know yet. Probably that scaleless head champagne stuff I showed. So I'm killing your OCD. How am I killing your OCD? I don't know. Am I moving around or doing something? We don't have that many holdbacks yet this year. I mean, we just started hatching clutches, so there's going to be more. I'm going to shoot for keeping around probably 10 to 15, probably closer to the 12 to 15 number of females every year. And the reason for that is that's how we grow, right? So if I hold back 12 to 15 females a year, then the next year I'm going to add 12 to 15 clutches. Not from those who will take 2 years, but what we hold back last year. It kind of just keeps moving up. So to reach our goals and to reach our long-term plan, that's what I need to hold back, plus add a few males every year. So, with that, adding males every year, usually I purchase males. Like I'm looking to buy certain males every year. This year we did hold back one male because we only had one male scaleless head. So we need a backup plan. And I also want to work champagne into my females. So like imagine that champagne pastel put to a super pastel scaleless head, where you can start getting scaleless champagne, well, actually get scaleless champagne pastels. So things of that nature that I think would look really cool. So I really think the scaleless is going to look amazing on a light colored snake, but not an all white snake. I want some color in there. I want some things in there so we can brighten all that, clean all that, and just have it be like, whoa. That's what I'm really shooting for. Those champagne pastels also are going to change color. They're not going to stay that way. They're going to color up as age a little bit and look really kind of digitized. So I think if you clean that with a scaleless, you're going to have something that's going to be off the chart. So that kind of thing. So I did keep back a male there. And I'm likely going to hold back another female when the time comes. Well, she can do that. That girl will do that for her, I'm sure. Where can you get racks, Balls of Paradise? Well, I'll tell you what. Talk to Cody right here at the Pride of Texas Rack Systems. They're located in Louisiana for now. But they're awesome. They're going to look like this, right? So this is the old... God, that was like a frozen face. The Gen 2 TGRs. This is Cody's. I about said Caleb's because I just saw Caleb mark Pride of Texas Rack Systems. So, a couple of quick differences. And we're going to have a video coming out that's going to really go over this in detail. We already had one, and then we're going to have another one that's, we've had these for a while now, test. So you can see how the runners are built different, right? Something else, they're screwed in, whereas these are just, I don't know if you can see that, stapled and glued. So everything's going to be screwed in here, which is really nice. My other favorite thing is, see how that is just flush and laid there on top of that, and this is cut and fit into there. So it's going to be much more sturdy. These things have a full back on them as well, and they hold humidity like a boss, if you're in doubt. Look at that. I haven't added the water to that since I put it in. There's no snake in there, because that snake's out doing some work. But, I mean, you can see they look great in there. Yeah, speaking of head exanthic stuff, fire, yellow belly, head exanthic, I'm raising up to breed. You want to bite the shit out of that. What is your deal? Woo! I don't know why she's so pissed. So, yeah, production racks look a lot better because Cody gave me pre-production. This is kind of one of his first ones to test. He wanted me to use, so I'm sure he cleaned up a few little things. But man, they're gonna be awesome. So, the most genes in a ball python I've ever produced, well, I don't know, 4 or 5. I mean, I don't really want to go past that. I think it gets muddled and hard to see. Sometimes anything more than 3 is kind of a pain in the ass, and you're like, oh, I don't know. But I think my banana calico blitz black pastel would be, that's 4. I don't know if I've ever put more than that in one, and it is wild looking. But anymore, I don't think I could improve it, right? I don't think it would get better unless maybe I added like super banana, or something like that to it. So I think you kind of gene packing, just packing genes in to pack genes in, I don't think is the future of the ball python industry. I could be wrong. I think we went through that for a time. We went through it for a time where you latched on the newest thing, then a time where the most genes wins. And I think now we're kind of getting to a time where I hope that you know we're looking at the animal, whether it's one gene or 3 genes. Of course, it does affect price. That we're looking for the quality. We're looking for the right animal that we want, something we want to be able to look at and say, wow. And I'll show you this one I'm talking about since you asked. It's over here, and it's a wow. So 4 genes on it isn't too much, but when I show you the snake, I want you to look at it and tell me what gene you think would make the snake better. Okay, what would improve this? And I don't know what would. I think you put anything else in there, you're just going to start muddling it up, and this is something when I show it, and it looks like ass too, by the way, on camera. When you see this thing in person, it's way more purple. Contrast is actually better. It's just gorgeous. So I don't know what I could do to make that better. Pied would be great, but pied would take out so much of the color. Ghost is going to wash it out. I don't want to wash it out. And I love Ghost, and I like pied. About the only I could think of is maybe if it had yellow belly, or maybe fire in it. Maybe. And there's no spider in that snake either. Desert Ghost might, if anything, Ghost itself, but there's, what I mean. That animal's perfect on its own. I don't feel the need to chase it. Maybe Inchy, maybe it's adding like a cleaner gene, a simple gene, something like that. But I also kind of like how messed up the pattern is in it when you see it. It's just all over the map. It's really cool. And that is the Calico and Blitz playing together, and I wanted to explore what the Calico Blitz combos do with other genes. That's kind of where I'm taking a lot of things. Substrate I use is the Reptile Prime. So Orange Dream possibly, but again, there's other ways I can take that. So I don't know if I ever want to start trying to do 7, 8, or 9. I'm not going to say I never will have that happen, but my goal is not going to be 7, 8, or 9. What the? We're back. Sorry about that. It did freeze. It kicked me off. I looked horrible, so I didn't let it in that way. I don't know what the hell happened. So no, it wasn't buffering. It got the boot. So sorry about that, guys. I've never worked with Spectre, but it did freeze. Sorry. Monsoon, yeah, but I'll tell you what. I don't know. I think I'm happy with that. And when you get 7 or 8 or 9, it's hard to identify, and then you're selling something to somebody that you're not probably as sure on. And then too, they're gonna breed stuff, and they're not gonna know what they got, and we're just packing genes for the sake of packing genes, and that's not what I think I want to do. I want to be more about picking my genes with a purpose, and each pairing I can tell you what I'm wanting for it. It's not gonna be, well, I got 4 genes here and 4 genes here, so I'm gonna throw it together, and maybe I can get an 8 gene snake. That's not going to be the goal. So, cutting off the connection. All right, guys. I'm going to hop up off of here and slide over to Patreon. We actually went for the full hour, right? The full hour. So, even though we only paid for 57 minutes, right? But no, I appreciate it. I appreciate the super chats. It really does help us, too. So, yeah, JHI Mojave, man. That shit's awesome. Why change that, right? So let me hop off here, and I'll slide it down, and we'll talk to you all there. Thank you, guys.